Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Happy post Rocket City Marathon Day. I wanted to take a few minutes to share and document my experiences with um, the marathon cancellation. Um, I want to be true to myself and honor my feelings and make sure that I am authentic in this process, as I know that that is the only way to actually capitalize on the growth. Yesterday, the Rocket City Marathon was canceled due to threatening weather. It was the right decision made by the race directors. I am very grateful that they made the decision. I have to be honest with you, if they had not made that decision, I would not have been participating in the marathon. Um, as I was walking to the Von Braun Center, which was the meeting place for the start of the marathon, I was being pushed by the winds, and I'm not a lightweight. I am a thick sister um, with some muscle. Yeah. And the wind was actually pushing me, and I thought, wow, I didn't train for heavy winds. That didn't happen during my 90-day training period. I had prepared for the rain, so I was prepared to do the rain within reason. Don't know if I was prepared for yesterday's type of rain, which I'm pretty sure I was not. But either way, I was thinking to myself, ooh, this is not only going to be challenging, it's going to be a nasty challenge. So, like most people who was participating, who was planning to participate in the marathon, we had trained hard, whatever that means. That's different for different people. And I felt like I was ready. So I showed up prepared to participate. And when I got there, I heard, okay, got the announcement that the full marathon, the 26.2 miles, had been canceled. If you wanted to, you could stay and participate in the half. So I thought, okay, I'll do the half. I know I can do that. Won't be challenging, but well, it'll be challenging, but not the type of challenge that the full marathon was going to give me. So I said, okay, I'll stay and I'll do the half. So while I was there, being the grace that I am, I'm walking around, I'm interacting, I'm networking with people, not networking necessarily to capitalize on building long-term relationships, but just networking as the fact of honoring other people who were there that was going through some of the same emotions that I was possibly going through. And as I started talking to people and interacting with people, I was realizing that, wow, this is real serious. There were people there that when they were getting the announcements of the cancellations, it was almost like they had got the announcement that someone had took their firstborn. I wasn't there yet. So I'm thinking, okay. I didn't really know how to handle that, so I didn't. It wasn't my responsibility. It was just my responsibility to have the experience and honor what I was going through. So yes, I was initially disappointed, but I quickly regrouped. And that's not to say that I'm perfect and I have complete control over my emotions or anything. I just know it was the right decision. It was the best decision. So it's no one's fault that the universe felt that this part of Alabama needed to be honored with a tornado warning and experience. So, no sense in sweating about it in my case. So I thought I still had the half to fall back on. Well, the race directors came out and they said they would let us know as we get closer to whether we would be able to do the half. So in about 30 minutes when the half was supposed to be starting, the announcement was made that no, it wasn't possible, it was not smart to do the half marathon either. So at that point, they told us what our options were. You can get your medals, take some pictures, enjoy the food that's in the back, blah, 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 blah. So I recognized, okay, it's not meant to happen today, not in any fashion, any form. It is what it is, point blank, period. So I embraced that. I came home and I was still okay with it being canceled and with it not happening. I went through the day. I made it a point to just really kind of isolate myself, to really allow myself to process what I had just experienced. And I compared I did this a couple weeks back and I shared it with a couple people that in my mind, a cake is a cake with or without the icing. The cake is the foundation. In my mind, this is what I thought about the marathon training. I went through the training. That was the cake. That was the foundation for my growth, my experience, for everything I needed to do to get to the next level. The icing was the race. I would have loved to have enjoyed the cake with the icing, but I still enjoyed the cake, which was my foundation. So I am thankful. I believe that I got everything I was supposed to get. When I was training, I didn't know that the race was going to be canceled. So each time that I went out, I gave it my all. I did the best of my ability to document the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was very upfront when I did my max miles, which was 20 miles. And I actually felt like I was delirious and that I wanted to quit. I went through those, I documented those. The process was not easy, but I grew from the training experience. And the big award, the cherry on top, if you like cherries, which I'm not sure I do, was knowing that I inspired people, that people were actually rooting for me. So that made it all so worthwhile. I actually had people who wanted to sacrifice their time and come out and celebrate me crossing the finish line. That meant so much to me because I'm not a Huntsville superstar. I'm not even from Huntsville. And to have people that I say this in my tribe that actually went through this process with me really meant a lot. It was at no point when I was documenting my training that I was bragging about what it was that I was able to do. My intent was always to document, one day be able to look back and celebrate that I did it. I'm not competitive. The race time limit was 6 hours. My goal was to cross the finish line 5 hours and 59 minutes and 1 second. That was my goal. So I didn't have very high standards because, again, the race was not the major thing for me. It was the training. So I don't want to drag this out. I just really wanted to make sure that I continue to honor myself, document the fact that, yes, I was disappointed, but not disappointed to the point of being distraught. I was able to regroup quickly because, again, it wasn't a competition for me. I am not seeking approval. I am very proud of myself to have gone through the training and to survive it, because I could have quit a couple times. I could have quit, but I didn't. So for that, I am thankful. There's one other thing I want to make sure that I share. Many people of color or Black people can identify with when you were growing up. an adult would say to you, one of your parents would say to you, usually the mother, if you don't stop crying, I'm going to give you something to cry for. That was what I thought about yesterday. If I didn't stop complaining about the time of whether it was going to be canceled, where it wasn't going to be canceled, because that was a long waiting period there. Because I got to the probably saying it wrong, Von Braun at 4:50, because I had this process in my mind. I wanted to have a certain parking spot. I wanted to warm up a little bit. I wanted to go and see the Christmas trees over in the Big Spring Park. So I got there really early. So it was a long period of finding out whether it was going to be canceled or not. So when I'm waiting, I'm going through this emotional agony of, is the race going to happen? Is the race not going to happen? Is the race going to happen? Is the race not going to happen? Trying to be dramatic in my way of being dramatic. And I heard in my mind, if you don't stop crying, I'm going to give you something to cry for. What does that have to do with the race yesterday? There were other states who were experiencing real trauma because of a tornado, not just a tornado warning or a tornado watch. I don't know which one is worse, but either way, yes, we had some bad winds and we had some terrible rains and the race got canceled. But those states who were experiencing flat buildings, houses being destructed, cities being torn down, those people had something to really process. So I'm not saying that my experience was insignificant, but I quickly had to regroup and remind myself that if I don't stop crying, it's very possibly that I will be able to experience something that will really warrant me being all distraught and emotional. So it's a little extreme. That was my thought process. That's what carried me through the day yesterday, just watching what people were actually going through. So again, I am very thankful. I appreciate the support and the love that everyone shared with me. My goal is to do a full marathon before I turn 60. I have a couple more years. I look forward to some future training opportunities, but right now I am ready to get back into the gym. I'm ready to get my Pilates certification. I'm ready to start growing my garden, which is something that I am going to document. So I'm there. I'm in the next season. So I just wanted to make sure that I was being authentic and being real, not being pretense, acting like, oh, nothing bothers me. Yeah, I felt it very quickly. I regroup and I keep it moving. That's all you can do. So for that, I am thankful that I'm at that place in life. So I made some amazing connections yesterday. I met a couple. I'm going to say this real quick and then I'm going to get off because I got to fix my smoothie. I just got back from the gym. I met a couple yesterday. The guy had on a shirt that said, "Black Men Run." I almost fainted when I saw that. Beautiful shirt. I was like, ooh, wow. So of course I'm nosy. I go over and I start talking to them. There's actually a group that of black men who run that have these shirts and everything. But anyway, haven't seen that in Huntsville yet. I'm sure they're here, just gotta find them. But when I was speaking with them, the man, he wasn't bragging. I asked how many marathons he had completed. The man had completed 88 marathons and he was only in his 40s. The lady that was with him had completed 25 and she actually was the winner of the Rocket City Marathon. I think she told me in 2018. So it's a beautiful thing in the woman category, female category. So I learned a lot from speaking with them. I will post their pictures later. But again, just a wonderful experience. I'm very happy and I'm just reminded, If you don't stop crying, the universe is going to give you something to cry for. And I've gone through that. So again, thank you all for your support. Thank you for listening to this video. And let's keep it moving next season. Much respect. Continue to live your truth. Respect.